kingdom. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Okay, everyone, let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Good evening and good night. Welcome back to my channel. It's bank holiday in the UK. Again, I hope that if you are in the UK, I hope that you are enjoying the bank holiday, one extra bank holiday for us because of the coronation. Today, I actually have a story of a pastor who, well, let me go into it. Let me tell you what it is. The topic is Kenyan pastor arrested, charged with mass killings of church members. Here we go again. Of course, you know, when I read this article, it brought me back to, I think it was in 2021, when I heard of a similar thing happening in a church in Jamaica. So it's almost like a cult thing. This one. So here we go. Kenyan Christian pastor has been arrested for allegedly killing his church members. Ezekiel Eduro, pastor of the New Life Prayer Center and Church, was arrested for allegations of deaths that have been occurring at these premises and reported in various morgues and institutions. Police found 90 bodies on the property of his Good News International Church. Odiro is an evangelist who sold fabric scraps and water that he claimed were holy and could heal diseases. Odero says people need strong faith for the holy water to work. He allegedly drives a Lexus and carries a Bible. Now, I am not sure what that has to do with the atrocities that he has committed, but here they are pointing out that he drives a Lexus and he carries a Bible. Oduro claims that people crowd his church because he is the chosen one. Police said that Odero doesn't have a degree and didn't attend seminary, but he says that he trained on the job. So he said that he didn't have any formal training or anything. He just learned while he was on the job to become this mighty evangelist who was healing people and everything else. Odero would indoctrinate his followers with sick relatives to bring them to the church for him to perform miracles. So whenever people were sick, relatives, members of the church were sick, he would actually encourage them to bring the sick person to the church for him to work a miracle. But it's important to know that these people actually stayed with him. So he invited them to actually just carry them to the premises and leave them there. Many of the patients who were terminally ill would have been reported to have died awaiting prayers at the church. And these deaths were never reported to the police. So if you notice, the relatives, what they would do is that they would leave their relatives there, their sick relatives, for him to work his miracle, you know, while they were there. You know, the relative would be gone. The sick relative would stay behind. But the next day, he would tell them that, look, your relative has died. Now, this has raised the question where it is saying that nobody is against the church But there needs to be tighter regulations of every church, mosque, temple, or synagogue going forward. That is what the Kenyan authorities are saying. You know, when I read this, guys, I'm thinking, do you think that people are doing these things out of desperation? When I say desperation, it's just that, to you and to myself, you are thinking, how could anybody fall for this? To the extent where you have an evangelist who is actually encouraging you to starve yourself to death. So a lot of us on the outside are thinking, okay, this could never happen to me. But I'm thinking, are people actually this desperate? People are so desperate for a change to the extent where they will actually believe anybody, they'd do anything just to be in a better place. If you notice, he actually told his followers that he was the chosen one. And as the chosen one, the followers would actually just believe whatever he told them. He would sell them water, he would sell them fabric. And if it did not work, he would tell them that, look, your faith is not strong enough. This is becoming a bit, I don't want to say it's the norm, and I don't want it to become the norm, but it's becoming a bit regular where you are hearing that evangelists actually turn out to be, leading a cult system. And we have to wonder, what is behind this? What is it that is leading people to do these dubious acts? Why is it that people are so brazen to actually go into the church and try to do these things? Some people are arguing that some people, some ministers are now actually seeing the church as a way of making money, because after indoctrinating the followers, then money becomes a part of it, where some of them are encouraged to bring whatever they have, whatever money that they have, in order to receive a blessing. In some cases, what they're told is that they are promised like a monetary blessing. And if it doesn't happen, they are duped into believing that, look, the bigger the money that you bring, the greater the monetary returns that you are going to get. Some of us would say on the outside, would say, I could never fall for that. How could I have my last dollar? How could I have my last pound and actually give it to the church? You have to really remember that, desperate, when people are desperate, they will do anything. A drowning man will clutch at a straw, right? So if you are promised that, look, you need to do this in order for your blessing to be revealed, especially if you are already indoctrinated to believe that that minister is the chosen one, that minister is able to work like miracles for you. Sometimes it will leave you feeling as if your faith is not strong enough. Because can you imagine? I would imagine that some of these followers would have seen, other people so receiving their so-called blessing, their so-called miracles. And as a result, because they want to actually experience that, then they actually continue to follow what they are told, because they actually want to experience this as well. One of the things that Eduro did was to encourage them to actually starve themselves into saying that that would take them closer to Christ. But of course, the starvation led to deaths. You can see how he actually got away with it for a while, because when police actually caught wind of it, they found about 90 bodies, they said, buried in a shallow grave. So you can see where you could see how easy it was for him to get away with it. Because if the followers are already indoctrinated, then you would see that whatever they are told are the cause of their relative's death when they are left in his care, then they would believe it. And sometimes, you would say, okay, the person was already ill. So if he says that, okay, they die, you are going to actually just believe it. And you can see, I would imagine that the trust was so great to the extent where they didn't even question it. They did not bother to report the deaths. I would imagine that they were instructed not to report these deaths as well. I am saying this, guys, this thing is becoming more frequent. So what you have to do is to be on the lookout. A lot of people would say, these people need to realize that the relationship with God is a personal one. You do not need to go through a middleman. So if this man is saying, I am the chosen one, it's almost as if he was blaspheming in any case, in the first place. But like I've said, people are, look up to ministers, look up to these evangelists, and it's easy for them to actually buy into what they are telling them. All of us need to be, they always say, try the spirit to know them. We have to be on the lookout. We have to know God for ourselves. Stop thinking about this middleman. Stop thinking that you have to go through the priest. Stop thinking that you have to go to the evangelist in order to have that closer walk with God. Know God for yourself. What do you think, Destiny family? Are you hearing about these in your countries? This one happened in Kenya. I've heard of it, a case in Jamaica. Nobody knows how many of these cult, institutions are around, hiding under the umbrella of the church. Just to be on the lookout, Destiny family. It's just something for you to think about. Thank you for watching this video. And until I upload another video, I say peace out. Take care. Bye.